child custody recommending counseling. This means you and your co-parent are going to speak to a mediator, and whatever the two of you cannot agree on, the mediator will make a recommendation to the judge. And this recommendation a lot of times is the starting point for argument at your hearing date. What's going on, guys? My name is Mark Reel Jr., the Father's Rights Attorney, and you're watching lesson number 2 of our masterclass on child custody in California. So today I got the vibe board out, and we're gonna draw out what to expect in terms of timing and outcome, and really when you're gonna get your day in court when it comes to child custody. So in order to start what we call a parentage action, a child custody case, the first thing that needs to happen is one of the parties, it can be mother or father, is going to file a petition. And they're going to serve this petition on the respondent. The respondent has 30 days to file what we refer to as their response and then serve it on the petitioner. And once we have these two things in place, the case is off and running. So what happens once we have the initial pleadings? We're going to move here into the RFO. An RFO is a request for order, requesting the judge make an order on a specific topic. Now, a lot of times a request for order is also filed in conjunction at the same time as a petition. What can you request the judge make an order on? Anything and everything. When it comes to parentage actions, when it comes to child custody, we're going to look at child custody, child support. It could be something such as moving the child away. There's any number of things that can be in that request for order. So the request for order gets filed, and in most counties you're looking at anywhere between 2 and 4 months before your court date. So what happens once you file that RFO? First thing you're going to do, it's required statutorily, is you're going to get set for a mediation date. Now that mediation will look distinctly different depending on the county your case is in. If you're in Riverside or San Bernardino, you're going to do what's called CCRC, or Child Custody Recommending Counseling. This means you and your co-parent are going to speak to a mediator, and whatever the two of you cannot agree on, the mediator will make a recommendation to the judge. And this recommendation a lot of times is the starting point for argument at your hearing date. The other type of mediation, I'm going to put NB, non-binding, you get this in LA County, OC, San Diego, where you're going to meet with a mediator, and if the two of you fail to agree, the mediator is simply going to tell the judge, these parties agreed on this and didn't agree on this, and will argue in front of the judge. So it's distinctly different, and mediation is extremely important in the Inland Empire because this professional is going to talk to you for anywhere from 20 minutes to an hour and make a recommendation to the judge as to what custody should look like. So once we get through mediation, you're going to move on to your hearing. And it's important to understand that an RFO hearing is not what you see on TV. There's going to be no witnesses. Most likely, as long as you're represented by an attorney, you're not going to talk. It's going to be the two attorneys having a conversation with the judge as to potentially what changes to the recommendation need to be made, or simply what orders should be made by the judge on that day. So you leave the hearing with your orders. And those orders are temporary orders. Once you get through that initial hearing, your child custody case can take a number of turns. It could be set for a trial. You could be ordered to do an evaluation and return with that child custody evaluation. You could be ordered for a check-in hearing in another 3 to 6 months. Any number of things can happen, but this is going to be the basic process. And once this petition is filed, you're going to look at its RFO mediation hearing. If you want to change something, it's an RFO, you go to mediation, and then you have a hearing. And from start to finish, filing the RFO to mediation and hearing, depending on the county, will be 2 to 4 months. I've seen some smaller counties be closer to 40 days, while I've seen some court districts be nearly 9 months before you get that day in court, before you get your hearing. So we've covered a lot of ground on the basics of process in child custody. So with that, I'll see you guys in lesson number 3.